an award for best anchors of the live broadcast show.
We will have to include that at the next Congress.
But I mean, Annelie having a background in radio, I think that, you know, she can give us a good rating. I'm sure she can, right? Because that's one of those things we need.
Absolutely.
But also, as we go into the award ceremony, it's so important to recognize everybody's contribution, because these people are literally always sacrificing themselves for the DA and as well to getting South Africa working. And this comes next to you, Kabelo, is just to say, what does it mean to every single individual who will be getting an award today?
I think the most important thing is that we remember these are awards between the previous Congress and now.
Yeah.
Your contribution, what you have done.
Yeah.
Dr. Lotria just says now that even fundraising, because remember, fundraising is what gets us, what gets us actually going out there and doing all these things. But it's important that these are not just for people who are public representatives. And I think one of the most important is that every single activist is recognized, every single person. And if you receive that, I'm telling you, you want to improve, want to come back again. For those who haven't had it, I'm telling you, you also want to compete with those people as well.
We have healthy competition here in the DA.
Absolutely. Yes. And I mean, talking about healthy competition, we do have our two leadership candidate speeches coming up. It's an important thing in our democracy as a party. Perhaps if you can share, why is that so important that leadership candidates addresses the Congress?
Well, I think it's important because it is the culmination of a whole campaign that they've run.
Absolutely.
And we don't have popularity contests. In the DA, we want to hear what a candidate leader is standing for, what his or her vision is, where they want to take the party, and what do they offer, what are their strengths, their weaknesses. And then the members, the delegates here, will make that decision based on the character, the merits of that candidate.
Wow. I mean, it is so, really so surreal, because there's no, flipping and throwing of chairs. There's no buying of votes.
No interdicts.
There's no interdicts. I mean, I haven't seen a SAPS officer around here in the entire venue. No. And that is democracy in action. It's a party that is ready to get South Africa working.
And I mean, in the spirit of getting South Africa working, while all these delegates filling up back on the plenary floor are going to have to wait till tomorrow to vote.
Absolutely.
Okay? We are all going to have to wait till tomorrow morning to cast our votes. However, KB, now that we are here and we are back watching with millions of South Africans streaming today and following us, what is it that they should stay tuned in for and be looking forward to for the rest of the day?
I think, DK, this Congress, just like 2023 Congress, is not about us. It's not about members of the DA. We said in 2023, it is about the future of South Africa. It is about the people who are going to take center part in the union building. This Congress, right now, we're about to listen to leadership speeches, and these are plans. The person who emerges from here will be shaping the vision and how we are going to go ahead into the local government elections. Most importantly, there are plans on how we can get South Africa working. So they must stay tuned in, because every single thing that comes out of here will affect the future of South Africa.
I mean, it's beautiful to see how every single DA Congress actually sets the agenda for South Africa and for local government elections and national elections.
Indeed. Well, I mean, especially as we're coming up to the local government elections, perhaps, Dr. Annelie, back to you for a second. I mean, it is a Congress. You have been to multiple of these. What are you most looking forward to this weekend?
Sure. Well, I enjoyed the constitutional amendments, because that shows the party is working. And to link to what you said, it was so disciplined. I wish I could have them in Parliament. So, yes, I'm looking forward to the leadership speeches, the awards, and then the results.
Come on. Well, there you have it, South Africa. Remember to please stay tuned to the broadcast. Join the conversation online by using the hashtag DA Congress 2026. But now let's go back onto the ground to our man, Mr. Bax Nodada. Bax, over to you, sir.
Khathu Rasilingwane, the DA's mayoral candidate for the city of Ekurhuleni. I am so excited for this opportunity and the trust that the DA has had in myself to be able to lead this campaign. I have worked for over 17 years preparing for this moment and understanding the challenges that has faced the city of Ekurhuleni. We will work around the clock to ensure that we stabilize our finances. We will work hard to ensure that we maintain our infrastructure. We will work very hard to ensure that project that gets started by the city of Ekurhuleni is budgeted for and ensure that the people that are due are benefiting from them. I just really want to add to say to the people of Ekurhuleni, we see your cries, we hear your struggles, and we as the Democratic Alliance will stand with you to ensure that we get the city working again.
Molweni Mzansi, you're back with me, your man on the ground, Bex Notata, right here at the DA's Federal Congress at the Gallagher Convention Center in Gauteng. It's absolutely amazing here. The delegates are excited, everyone is connecting, and more importantly, looking forward to hearing who will be elected for the next 3 years. But before we go to the award ceremony and the candidate speeches, I've got a very special guest with me that you just saw now, but live in person, Khathu Rasilingwane, who is our mayoral candidate for the city of Ekurhuleni. How are you feeling, Khathu?
I feel very excited to be at the Congress today where we as the DA get to elect new leadership that will usher an era which will get the city of the DA to be a stronger DA leading into the local government election.
That's absolutely amazing, Khathu. I mean, Khathu, you have put your hand up to be the next mayoral candidate, mayor of Ekurhuleni. Why?
I must just state that I feel very honored for the DA to have entrusted me with such a responsibility. It is a massive responsibility, but I really just want to tell you that I took this opportunity and responsibility because I am the daughter of Ekurhuleni. I grew up in communities in the heart of Ekurhuleni, and so seeing that there are so many communities that are still growing in shacks, an environment that I grew up in, it led me into believing that this is the right time where the city of Ekurhuleni needs new leadership that will lead the city of Ekurhuleni to work again.
I mean, Khathu, what actually drove you? What did you see in the city of Ekurhuleni politically that drove you that, you know what, these are the things that are problems that needs to be fixed?
So currently in the city of Ekurhuleni, there's leadership crisis. There's a lot of rot that is taking place. There is maladministration in terms of finances. We are dominating in the media in terms of all the corruption that is taking place in Ekurhuleni. And so I thought that was going to be the important time where there is decisive leadership that will be able to bring strategies and stabilize the finances to ensure that the city can work again.
Amazing. I mean, I'm sure, Khathu, you've crisscrossed the city. I'm sure you'll continue to do so. But how do we get Ekurhuleni working? What is the plan?
I plan to stabilize the finances. I plan to crush out corruption and enforce a culture of accountability where we will make sure that we hire individuals that are merit-based and individuals that understand the institution. And so we will make sure that we crush corruption, we stabilize the finances, we fix and maintain our infrastructure, but also professionalize the institution.
I mean, that's an amazing plan, and I'm sure we can definitely change things around in Ekurhuleni if we could implement that. But what would be your parting shot? What were your parting words to the people watching at home, to the people of Ekurhuleni, to the people of South Africa?
I really just want to say to my fellow people of Ekurhuleni, especially young people, that I understand how it feels to live in a city that has neglected you. I understand how it feels to have a leadership and government that has literally lost control. But with that anger that they have, I really just want to encourage them to ensure that they go out and vote and register to vote come November in this year. So I want to encourage every young person to tap into the spirit of the youth of 1976 that stood up against the cause, where they make sure that they vote against an apartheid government. So I want to encourage young people to please go to check.da.org.za and ensure that you are registered to vote. And for Ekurhuleni, these are the people that will get the city of Ekurhuleni working again.
That is absolutely amazing. You've heard it right here from the next mayor of Ekurhuleni, who's basically encouraging all of you that the only way we can get the city of Ekurhuleni working is by you going to register to vote, so that you can use that vote to change the situation for the better, so that we've got more jobs, we've got basic services, we stop crime, and we fight against corruption in the city of Ekurhuleni, and we turn things around so that things can start getting to work again. But look, I'm very excited to highlight more and more of our mayoral candidates as we go throughout the weekend. So I know that my double D, Donovan Mtikeledi, may have more for us just to unpack on how we're going to go to the award ceremony and the leadership speeches. Over to you guys.
Remember when we came together to vote for the first time? The 27th of April 1994 marked a turning point for our nation. The whole world had its eyes on us. We were celebrated as the miracle nation, with a peaceful transition to democracy and an end to oppression. Healed by reconciliation, not revenge. Something everyone thought was impossible became possible. Remember seeing our new flag symbolizing our magnificent lands, oceans and rivers, waving proudly in the African breeze. That day, we saw a new, free South Africa. We, the people, united. For the first time, all races came together to build a road out of the darkness of the past and into the light. For the first time, we stood shoulder to shoulder. We sang, we danced, we cheered, we celebrated. Change and unity was no longer a dream, but something achieved. We embraced the promise of freedom. We embraced the new South Africa. Our future had never been brighter. We now had a country we could finally all call home, united in our diversity.
Communities, and let me tell you, the future looks bright.
It really does look bright. I mean, the DA is ready. You can just see it from the visuals, from what is happening on the ground here at Congress, and in getting South Africa working.
Absolutely.
Please remember to continue following hashtag DA Congress 2026, but also go to donate.da.org.za so that you are also part of the change that you want to see in making South Africa work. We are going to the award ceremony meeting, and we are also going to hear from key DA leaders.
Absolutely, a very special moment in our Congress, and joining us to unpack all of that, we have the provincial leader and MC of Finance, Francois Rogers for KZN, as well as the spokesperson of police in Parliament and the Northern Cape Provincial Chairperson, Lisa Schikkeling. Lisa, Francois, welcome. How are we feeling at Congress 2026?
Wow, it's absolutely amazing. It's electrifying inside. I mean, you can just look at the atmosphere. You can look at the vibe inside. Yeah, people are excited. They want a DA that works for them. They want change in South Africa.
Absolutely, Francois.
I'm worried about my hearing because I'm really battling to hear with this vibe and the energy that's in the room. But I bring you warm greeting.
Come on.
From the kingdom of the Zulu, KwaZulu-Natal.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, with local government elections just around the corner, Francois, what is it that our residents and every single voter at home should be looking forward to in these upcoming elections?
You know, it's very simple. The Democratic Alliance brings hope, but not just hope in the word. It has experience.
Come on.
We've proven that where we govern better than any other party.
Absolutely.
And we do that in KwaZulu-Natal.
Absolutely.
In our very own Mgeni.
Absolutely.
And that's our strategy, that's our plan. Bring about change.
Come on.
Give us the services, we're going to do that.
Absolutely. Well, Lisa, we know the Mandlanga Commission and the ad hoc committee has shown just how infiltrated SAPS is with corruption. What is that? What does that have? What impact does that have on communities?
Well, you know, the most important thing is it shouldn't be a privilege for somebody to drive in their car without being scared that they're going to have a smash and grab. It shouldn't be a privilege for children to play in a street without getting shot or without being stolen and being raped and murdered. It shouldn't be a privilege for a woman to have to walk alone at home and be scared. That is a right. It's not a privilege. And what we've seen through the Mandlanga Commission and the ad hoc committee is that the SAPS has been hollowed out. It's been hollowed out by corruption, it's been hollowed out by mismanagement, and it's been hollowed out by cadre deployment. And that is something that the DA is not going to stand for.
Absolutely.
We need to make sure we capacitate the SAPS. We must professionalize the South African Police Service. We must make sure that officers that are employed are fit for purpose. We must make sure that we give capable provinces like the Western Cape the opportunity to be able to have the resources so that they can expand policing powers in their provinces. Because the Metro Police and LEAP are doing a phenomenal job. But without the input from the rest of the country and without government, we can't do anything. It shouldn't be a privilege. It is a right for people. And South Africa deserves a police service that works for them, that fights for them, and makes sure that they are safe.
Well, that is so important. And why it's so important that you make sure that you give the Democratic Alliance a full majority wherever you live. Now, Francois, there's over 1,000 public representatives here. You've been one for a very long time. Why is it so important for you to wake up every morning and serve your community?
I think you must say that I've been a public representative since the days of the Rinderpest or when Moses was a teenager. So I have experience when it comes to that. But you know what the reality is about our public representatives? It's this. It's this heart, this DA heart that pumps the blue pump. Once you put on one of these T-shirts and you become a public representative, you know what's expected of you and you get the job done. And that's why we get the results.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading back to the stage for the much anticipated leadership addresses as well as the award ceremony. Listen, it's like the Oscars, but just better. Please stay tuned and make sure you like and subscribe.
Tembisa Hospital is very bad.
Tembisa is a very bad hospital. Very bad.
I saw people dying in front of my eyes. They just cover them up and push them away.
I think the ANC is involved a lot with the money looting.
There's got so much corruption that is actually leading to poor service delivery. Welcome to Tembisa Hospital. This is the hospital that the residents of Tembisa call the hospital of death. There was serious investigations around this particular hospital by the late Babita Dagran, who was a whistleblower who was killed after she exposed a lot of corruption in this particular hospital.
The Gauteng Department of Health confirms that a fire has broken out at the Accident and Emergency Unit of the Tembisa Hospital.
This is the first fire that took place at this hospital. And remember, we had 2 fires in less than 2 weeks apart. One wonders, why would you have a fire twice?
I remember my experience with my mother. She was a patient with Tembisa Hospital. They first diagnosed her wrong and gave her the wrong medication. And then she became sick and became critically. And then they tied her up, her hands and fingers, not understanding why they tied her hands and fingers until she passed on.
The food, whoa, it's so bad. I never saw, even my dog will never eat that food.
My medication had expired until I got drowsy, and then when I check on the medication, only to find out that the medication has expired.
The winged chairs which were bought there, I think it was around about 5,000 rand per chair. And we went to the hospital just to do the oversight. And we asked for the whereabouts of those chairs. The chairs were nowhere to be found.
The hospital bought skinny jeans, 2,000 of them. What is the hospital doing with skinny jeans when we need beds and medication and linen for our sick people? This is the entrance where the MEC of Health denied the Democratic Alliance to go inside and do oversight in this hospital, even before the fires. So you also wonder, why would an MEC prevent members of parliament and members of the provincial legislature opportunity to do their work? The DA is the only hope for South Africans. For good health care, we as the Democratic Alliance have taken a vow to fight for the dignity of South Africans, for the upliftment of South Africans, for good health care for South Africans. And even the Tembisa Hospital can be turned around. Where there's a political will, hospitals can function, comparable with any private hospital in the country. The Democratic Alliance, the only party in South Africa that has the know-how, the knowledge, the skill sets, and the talent to bring dignity to South Africans.
DA at Work, rescuing South Africa.
Lucky julle.
Don't stop believing.
Don't stop.
Don't stop believing. Whatever you do, don't stop believing, bud.
Jeez, I think you guys are copying my outfit, eh?
No.
We're not
Just
copying you. You
You're copying my outfit. All three of you are copying my outfit.
I got mine first.
No, you copied mine.
No, I got mine first.
I don't know, maybe we should ask them who looks best in blue.
Oh my goodness.
I'll win.
The blue team here. All right, Democrats, we begin in the province of extreme conviction, resilient in all communities, the home of struggle heroes and the service to the country, the home of legends. Please rise, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome the flag of Eastern Cape.
Democrats, we now turn to a province of great beauty, immense strength, and rising democratic resolve. Congress, please meet with full force the flag of KZN.
From the north of our country, rich in heritage, culture, biodiversity, and an unshakable spirit, Democrats, let us welcome the proud flag of Limpopo!
Delegates, it is time for us to pay tribute to a very special Democrat. And to do so, please welcome to the stage our KZN Provincial Chairperson, Dean McPherson.
In 2019, the Democratic Alliance had lost its way, and very few people wanted to lead our organization after a news publication proudly proclaimed that this period would be the death of the DA. But there was one man, an individual who not only loved his party, but so loved his country that he did what no one else was prepared to do. He raised his hand and he said, "I'll do it." The real judgment on leadership is not whether you are prepared to lead when the times are good and there are no problems. That judgment is passed on if you will lead when the prospects of success are so remote and the chances of failure are so high that you do it anyway. John Steenhuisen decided that he would be judged on the latter. For that, no single critic or analyst can ever take that away from you, John. This is the hallmark of leadership. And what did he do in his time? He made us believe in a fundamental truth, that there is nothing wrong with the DA that cannot be fixed with what is right in the DA. That we fight for both the DA and South Africa. And he made us believe in ourselves once again. John was not an air-conditioned office leader. He taught us to empathize and sympathize with those that we serve. That issues are fought and driven from the ground up. That being a public representative required us to be in communities and not on Facebook. That your view mattered, no matter how different it was. This is the hallmark of real leadership. But John's leadership was not one of roses and good times, as leaders must also be prepared to be firm and principled. We always knew where John stood and what his position was, and it was always grounded in values and not popularity. John has never and would never lead through shadows or through proxies. His positions were always known to all of us, and he was willing to be contested for them. That is the hallmark of real leadership. That is why his defining legacy will be taking the Democratic Alliance from a party of opposition to one of national government. The very first and our only leader in the history of our party to do so. And while many people inside and outside have had their opinions and offered their views on how to do it better, John has relied on something that has never, ever let him down: his political instinct. I recall many conversations when we were facing existential choices in the GNU, and I would simply pose a straightforward question to John. John, what is your gut telling you? And I will say today, without fear of contradiction to you, that every call, every decision, John got right. And just think about this for a moment. Ponder on this for a second. During the VAT debacle, John was crystal clear to the ANC and to the public that under no circumstances would the DA vote to support a VAT increase. Many said that we should just do it and play nice, that we should just get along and go along. In fact, there were some other political parties who you will recall that said that VAT would be good for the poor. Some of you will remember, particularly from KZN. But on that day, on that fateful day, John rallied his caucus and members of the executive that we would go to Parliament and raise our hands in opposition to VAT, knowing full well, knowing very well, that we would most likely be voting ourselves out of the GNU and out of Cabinet, because John's principles and values were never up for negotiation. That is what real leadership looks like. And so John, with each test, has led us with conviction, clarity, and determination. However, John's greatest legacy that he leaves behind is that our party is strong, it is more unified, it is more diverse, and it is more successful than it's ever been before. But he also leaves something far more consequential that very few people have given consideration to. He leaves behind a new generation of leaders. John has done what very few people and politicians do. He has actively and purposefully groomed, mentored, and made spaces for young people in this party. He has given them responsibility. He has supported them. And he has been deliberate and unapologetic about the DA's need to embark on a generational shift. What we see on our ballot paper tomorrow and across the party has not happened through a miracle. It is the careful and painstaking art of building something bigger than yourself. From leaders like Siviwe Kwaghrube, Jordan Hill-Lewis, Bax Nodada, Silliers Brink, Karabu Khachau, Mabatu Tembe, Martin Meyer, Karl Popheim, Yusuf Kasim, Leon Schreiber, Ashol Sarupin, Solly Malatsi, Alex Abrahams, George Mikalakis, and so many more. This is John's legacy, a party's succession secured through selfless leadership by giving young people an opportunity. John knows that young people don't lack the ability to lead, but the opportunity to do so. And he was the leader that finally did something about it. This is what real leadership looks like. But there's another side to John, a human side, a loyal side. It is John the friend, John the mentor, John the counselor. US President Harry Truman famously once said that if you want a friend in politics, get a dog. I want to tell you today that Truman was dead wrong. John has been my friend in politics. In 2009, John gave me a chance. I was a young 24-year-old boy in Durban who wanted to make a difference to his community, but didn't know how. Over the last 17 years, John has taught me many things, but there is one thing that stands out more than anything, and that's loyalty. It's often spoken about in politics, but rarely practiced. And that loyalty has transcended the hardest of times. But he has never wavered, not once. So in truth, I would pick John over a dog any day in politics. That's what real friendship looks like. I want to thank you, John. You have given a young boy who had a dream of changing South Africa the opportunity to do so, and I can never thank you enough. As John steps down as the leader of the Democratic Alliance, he does so with a record of service that will most likely be unrivaled for decades. He perfected the art of the possible in politics, and not only dared us to dream, but made those dreams a reality. Well done, good and faithful servant, is found in the book of Matthew 25:23. And it was uttered in response to those that had been entrusted to grow the assets of the head of the house while he was away. To recognize that they had been loyal, faithful, and diligent with what mattered most to them. John, I say to you today that you have grown this house and you have looked after the assets of this house, the very people in this hall today. We therefore say to you, well done, good and faithful servant. Thank you, dankie, ngiyabonga, inkosi, kiyalabocha. I would now welcome the family. I would also ask you to please now stand and welcome the federal leader onto the stage, as well as his family onto the stage. Let us welcome John Steenhuisen. Let's also welcome John's faithful family on stage. Let us also welcome John's office onto the stage.
What an thank you. What an incredible journey this has been, John. There were often times when it was lonely. It was quite a lonely journey. But this is the end of a chapter. And I so look forward to the next chapters in your life.
Leadership is not only measured in victories.
It is measured by courage, by conviction, by the will to keep going when others lose faith.
In 2019, at a time of uncertainty for both our party and our country, you stepped forward to lead.
When others may have been skeptical about the future of the DA, you did not retreat.
You reminded us that there was nothing wrong with the DA that couldn't be fixed by what is right with the DA.
And you were right. Under your leadership, the party rebuilt, it renewed, it found its feet again, and it set its sights higher than ever before.
Yours is a story built from the ground up. From knocking on doors in communities to serving as a councillor in eThekwini.
To leadership in the provincial legislature, the National Assembly, and as Chief Whip in Parliament.
And then, when the moment came, you stepped into the breach and led this party.
Through the uncertainty of the COVID-19 pandemic, you gave South Africans a steady voice.
Through the 2021 local government elections, you helped the DA recover ground and regain momentum.
In 2023, you launched the Moonshot Pact with a clear belief that South Africa needed a new path.
Then came the historic election of 2024. Under your leadership, the DA helped reshape South African politics.
We broke the cycle of one-party dominance. We stopped the Doomsday Coalition. And true to our promise to voters, we entered national government to rescue South Africa.
You became Minister of Agriculture. You led DA ministers and deputy ministers to start the rescue mission for this country.
For you, for now, it may be mission accomplished, but your story goes on and your role goes on.
Today, we say thank you, John Steenhuisen. Thank you for your leadership, thank you for your courage, and thank you for your service to the Democratic Alliance and to South Africa.
Chief Whip.
A visionary caucus leader and DA federal leader.
The man who led the DA into national government.
And something we don't say often enough, but to Terry and the girls and to John's family, thank you very, very much. John will remain an absolute legend to each and every one of us. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Now, Democrats, just as we celebrate and honor our federal leader, this organization has been built on the backs of many men and women. So don't go anywhere, because now we are going to honor the Democrats that have been building this organization for years. Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Delegates, we now turn to the much anticipated Congress Awards.
recognizing those who never falter and never fail, those who go above and beyond. Please welcome to the stage the chairperson of the Congress Awards Committee, Helen Zille, and her deputy chairperson of Federal Council, Asho Sarapan.
Good afternoon, colleagues, Democrats. In January 2026, we asked all party structures to nominate individuals and formations who have made exceptional contributions to our cause in the Democratic Alliance. These are the people who do the work when nobody is watching. The people who organize our branches, run our campaigns, raise funds, win wards, serve our communities, and build the blue machine that allows our values to translate into real change in people's lives. We had nominations recognizing contributions across 4 areas. Firstly, strengthening democracy and advancing good governance in South Africa. Secondly, building and strengthening the DA as an organization. Thirdly, increasing the party's share of the vote through political and operational excellence. And lastly, supporting our mission through fundraising and resource mobilization. Between today and tomorrow, we will honor everyone who's done exactly that. Because our blue machine is not built by speeches alone. It's built by the thousands of committed people who give their time, their skills, and often make many personal sacrifices to grow our organization. Every by-election victory, every branch formed, every volunteer recruited, every donor convinced, and every community served is part of building the blue machine. Today we recognize the people who are doing that work. And we begin today with a Lifetime Contributor to Democracy in South Africa award. Recipients of this particular award are outstanding South Africans within our ranks who've dedicated their lives to the advancement of liberalism, constitutionalism, the rule of law, and good governance. These individuals are recognized for the enduring impact of their work on our party and our country, marked by sustained excellence, commitment, and loyalty to our values throughout their careers. Please note that, regrettably, the first 4 recipients in this category will be honored posthumously. Now, our first award winner is very, very important and special to me personally, because in democratic politics, we know the spotlight falls on the leaders. But behind every enduring political party stands the strategists, the people whose work shapes outcomes long before the voters cast their ballots. The recipient of this first award was that strategist. Born on the 17th of July, 1960, he devoted his life to justice and equality and the strengthening of our democracy. Over his decades of service to the Democratic Party and later the Democratic Alliance, he helped not only build our campaigns, but the institutional strength of this modern political party that competes electorally so that we can both govern and hold power to account. As executive director of the Democratic Party in the 1990s, he helped pave the way for the pivotal 1999 election, a campaign that transformed the Democratic Party from a marginal presence, a 1.7% party, into the official opposition. He worked with limited resources, but he used his strategic genius, his discipline, his ability to execute, and his rigorous use of data to build a campaign operation that defied expectations, reshaped our landscape, and catapulted the DP from 1.7% to the official opposition. Over the years that followed, he became widely recognized as a quiet architect of our machinery. He planned meticulously, he had a deep understanding of the political environment, and he had a relentless work ethic that built the blue machine, capable of weathering difficult moments and seizing opportunities for growth. He served as a member of parliament from Mpumalanga and then KwaZulu-Natal, and always brought thoughtfulness and professionalism to public service. He believed deeply in the importance of a strong and credible opposition as the cornerstone of democracy, and he spent his life getting the DA into national government. His final campaign resulted in the DA entering national government for the first time. But I know personally the achievement he was most proud of was winning his home municipality of Umgeni. His legacy is not only in our election results, but in the strength of the DA as an institution and the role we play in South Africa. He was not only a strategist, but a mentor, a colleague, and a friend to many of us. His work built this blue machine, and his contribution will continue to endure for as long as we continue to endure. So the first recipient of this award is our stalwart, our late stalwart, Greg Crumbach. We have Susan Cheek, Greg's beloved wife, to receive this award on his behalf. Our next recipient was someone who offered dedicated and principled service to the DA, particularly in her role as the Provincial Director in Mpumalanga, where she strengthened our organizational systems and party structures through her tireless behind-the-work scenes. She exemplified our party's values of accountability, good ethics, and of service, and played a significant role in developing and mentoring others in our organization. Her untimely passing leaves a profound void, but her lasting legacy will endure. This award honors Sabira Ahmad, affectionately known by all of us as Sabi, and I call upon Jane Sitole, Bosman Krobler, Thelma Ahmad, and Sabi's mother to receive this award. Our next award from this category was from the Eastern Cape operational team who served our party for 26 years. As finance manager, she played a key role in modernizing financial systems and processes. She was quiet in nature, but her impact was significant. She ensured strong financial management, supported leadership decision-making, and made complex financial concepts accessible to others. She was known for her analytical skills, her integrity, her commitment to transparency, and she was a dedicated and knowledgeable team member whose long-standing loyalty and contribution deserves recognition. This award is to honor Brandine Sher. I called upon the Eastern Cape Provincial leadership, Andrew Whitfield, Yusuf Kasim, and Almarie Water to receive this award on her behalf. Our next recipient served the parliamentary wing of the DA in operations for 26 years as an administrative staffer until her passing in March 2025. She worked as the personal assistant to several members of parliament, providing dedicated professional support, and she constantly went above expectations. She had deep institutional knowledge, she built strong relationships, she had an open communication style, and she kept her colleagues accountable while fostering a caring team environment even during her illness. She was highly respected and relied upon, and her loyalty and lifelong contribution to the party will always be thought of and appreciated. Affectionately known as Dee, the recipient of this award is Duria Doyle Samsudeen, or Dee Samsudeen as we knew her in Parliament. I call upon George Mikalakis and Una Christians to receive this award on her behalf. Our next award for lifetime contribution to democracy goes to an individual who's devoted over 3 decades to the Democratic Alliance and our predecessor parties. She played an anchor role, particularly in her long role over 4 terms as Chief Whip of the Cape Town City Council. She began in this role when we took over in 2006 in a 7-party minority coalition that really had almost no chance of surviving. The fact that the government held was in no small measure due to her stability, integrity, and the fairness in everything that she did. Everyone in the caucus and within our coalition trusted her and accepted her authority and discipline. She was instrumental in introducing the PDMS system and its successors, and did so even-handedly. The Cape Town was one of the few DA caucuses where the system really worked and produced results. She was, and still remains, a very safe pair of hands, and everything that she undertakes is thoroughly and professionally done. Having retired from representative politics, Anthea continues to volunteer for duty, particularly in our candidate selection process, where she continues to play her fair and even-handed role. The recipient of this award is Anthea Seretslev. To her name, a lifetime of dedicated service to the DA and our predecessors, spanning 6 decades of activism, of leadership, and as a public representative. She served with distinction in the City of Cape Town as a councillor, as the deputy mayor, as a mayoral committee member across multiple portfolios, while also contributing to SALGA and key governance structures. Since retiring from public office in 2016, she's continued to play a vital role in our candidate selection systems, in training, and in community organizations, demonstrating an enduring commitment to strengthening our party and advancing our values, both in government and in civil society. The recipient of this lifetime contribution to the Democracy Award is, of course, Belinda Walker. For over 3 decades of dedicated public service, our next recipient has served as a Member of Parliament, a shadow cabinet member, as well as in key oversight roles, including in the Standing Committee on Public Accounts. He has contributed significantly to the party's growth and governance, including modernizing financial systems, shaping policy, throughout his expertise in labor and industry, and promoting transparency and accountability. Beyond national roles, he has driven community development, economic partnerships, and stability in challenging areas, demonstrating a sustained commitment to democratic values and improving the lives of all South Africans. The recipient of this award is, of course, Alf Lees. Our next recipient's individual career. Our next recipient has a career that boasts over 4 decades of principled leadership and impact within our party and in our country, beginning with his activism at the Progressive Federal Party in 1977. He served with distinction as a councillor, a provincial legislature, a long-standing leader of the opposition in the Eastern Cape, while playing a key role in advancing democratic values both during and after the apartheid system. Beyond elected office, he has shaped party strategy, governance, and leadership development through mentorship, institution building, and sustained organizational leadership. His career reflects an enduring commitment to strengthening our democracy and building effective political structures in our party and in our country. We honor, of course, Bobby Stevenson. Our next recipient joined the Progressive Federal Party 48 years ago as a ward activist, while she ran a successful practice as a clinical psychologist in Johannesburg. She eventually agreed to run for public office and was finally elected as a councillor in 1991, as a member of the provincial legislature in 1999, and then to Parliament in 2005. And she served with distinction in every portfolio that she handled. She was elected 3 times as a deputy federal chairperson of our party to advance our whole-of-society approach. She served as chairperson of the Parliamentary Caucus from 2014 to 2019. After retiring from active politics, she's continued to serve in a voluntary capacity, particularly in candidate selection panel members, where she is frequently a chair, as a mentor for mayors and our DA-run governments where we have challenges. She's distinguished herself by her commitment and dedication to her cause in every role that she's fulfilled, and her calm and steady leadership, and her capacity to uphold DA values in difficult situations. She has, like all our recipients, given a lifetime of service to building democracy in South Africa, and so this award goes to, of course, Antjandrea. Our next recipient is being recognized for her dedication, unwavering, to the Democratic Alliance since 2001, where she's been a branch chair, a councillor, and a community organizer in a little place known as Tembisa. She's demonstrated remarkable courage and commitment to accountability, exposing corruption and continuing her activism even after surviving a targeted attack on her home. Despite no longer holding public office, she remains a tireless grassroots leader, mobilizing support, inspiring volunteers, and championing the party's message within her community. So this award goes to former councillor Nomsa Baba. Our final recipient in this category is being recognized for 5 decades of dedicated service to our party, beginning with his involvement in the Progressive Party in 1961 and continuing through sustained leadership roles across regions and structures. He served with distinction as a councillor in the City of Cape Town and in numerous leadership positions as a portfolio chair, as a mayoral committee member, a sub-council chair, and roles within SALGA and national party structures, while also contributing to the establishment and leadership of ADAC. Even after retiring from public office in 2016, he's remained active and valued to our party, and he supports the party through ongoing involvement in our candidate selection. This award is, of course, to honor Dimitri Colley. Unfortunately, Dimitri is unable to join us, so the Chair of the Federal Council will present this award to him in Cape Town. Okay, so now we move on to our next category. And the next category is to celebrate star performers. Recipients of this award demonstrate commitment to our party that go far beyond what is normally expected. These recipients go consistently beyond the extra mile to advance our mission, our values, and our operation. It's meant to recognize the members, activists, and staff whose extraordinary dedication often happens with little fanfare or recognition. Party structure submitted to the nominations of these individuals whose hard work, reliability, and passion made a meaningful difference to the strength and growth of the Democratic Alliance. I'd like now to call Helen up to the podium to introduce the first winner in this category and then hand over the awards.
It's a very deep honor for me to announce the first recipient, because she's being recognized for her exceptional service to the Democratic Alliance, which I have seen firsthand every day in her current role as our Chief Operations Officer, where she has led the party staff with professionalism, dedication, and a deep understanding and love of our organization. We celebrate her for her ability to nurture talent, to foster a positive and supportive culture, and to ensure the teams are structured so that they can best achieve our party's goals. The famous Blue Machine is held together by her steadfast leadership and deep commitment to flawless execution. I'm going to be in trouble after this because I didn't get people walking out in the correct door, but I hope she will forgive me after this award. She is a world-class Chief Operations Officer, and she is instrumental to the DA achieving its mission. The recipient of the Star Performer Award is Liana van Wyk.
We are now honored to be joined by our federal leader, John Steenhuisen, who will present the remaining awards for today's ceremony. Our next star performer is recognized for his exceptional dedication and leadership. He goes above and beyond to mobilize his team, identify community issues, and ensure that his ward consistently performs at the highest level. He played a key role in exposing the chemical toilet scandal in Ekurhuleni, driving media attention, community engagement, and action from public representatives. He demonstrated courage, perseverance, and impact in service of his community. His name is Jonas Moshi. Our next star performer is being recognized for her transformative leadership, her tireless activism, and her deep commitment to her community. She played a key role in reclaiming key voting districts for the DA. She strengthened her branches, her membership, and mentored young people to meaningfully engage in community life. Beyond politics, her compassion and service demonstrated in crises response and ongoing support for vulnerable residents highlights her courage, her selfishness, and her unwavering dedication to both her community and her party. Her name is Shumanani Bokla, an exceptional, inspiring leader from Limpopo, who goes consistently above and beyond what is expected. Despite his disability, he effectively performs oversight duties with the support of an aide and independently produces media releases using assistive technology. He's highly dedicated, is well prepared at every council meeting, and actively contributes through his oversight mechanisms. He maintains strong engagement across the 5 wards he serves and has established leading branches while staying closely connected to his community. With an exceptional command of both party and national constitutional frameworks, an unwavering work ethic, he stands out as a committed public servant whose determination and resilience makes him truly deserving. Please welcome Sipho Mboko to receive this award. He is being assisted by Lindy Wilson. Our next star performer has contributed 37 years of extraordinary dedication to the Democratic Alliance and its predecessor parties, providing an unwavering commitment to our values and community service. From revitalizing Cape Town's urban areas as a ward councillor to transforming safety and emergency services and MMC for safety and security, he's delivered tangible improvements and strengthened party structures and nurtured young leaders. His principled leadership, tireless advocacy, and impactful governance has advanced both the DA's mission and the well-being of many communities in Cape Town, making him truly a deserving recipient of this recognition. The winner of this award is J.P. Smith. Next up, we're recognizing someone for his long-standing dedication to the party, exemplified through his roles as an activist, campaign manager in MPL and a mayor. He's advanced our party's values and our principles while growing our visibility and our support, and achieved measurable electoral gains, even in communities where we have to build up new support. His integrity, his leadership, and his international recognition, including being named by Time magazine as one of the 24 young leaders on the Time 100 Next list, highlight his exceptional contribution and continues to serve and inspire emerging leaders in our party. Of course, this is Chris Papas. Our next star performer is being recognized for his steadfast dedication to serving communities in Mfuleni and advancing the values of the DA in that area since 2008. He's a councillor and a member of the legislature, and in Mfuleni, he has tirelessly fought corruption, he's fought for essential services, he's empowered political activists running one of the most active constituencies in the country, he's achieved measurable improvements in voter engagements and constituency performance. He's suffered many personal risks, including a violent attack in 2017. But he's consistently prioritized the welfare of his community, human rights, and the growth of capable leadership, producing some of our best results in formerly ANC supporting areas, and he's made a tangible and lasting impact. The winner of this award is King Sol Chabalala. Next up, our Star Performer Award is being given to someone to recognize her exceptional issue driving through the platforms of Parliament. She exposed and relentlessly drove the cadre deployment process involved in appointing people to the CETA boards. She leveraged media attention and persistently drove this issue and advocated for tangible results, ultimately resulting in the removal of an ANC minister. For this masterclass in issue driving, the award goes to Karabo Kakao. Colleagues, this concludes the award segment of today's program. Don't worry, we have more tomorrow. But I want to thank all of our award recipients for their extraordinary contribution that you're making to building the Democratic Alliance and to strengthening liberal democracy in South Africa. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was absolutely... Oh. Can you hear me at the back?
I'm going to take it from here then, Angus. I apologize. That was absolutely amazing, seeing so many men and women dedicated to getting South Africa working. Your work on the ground is invaluable.
Absolutely.
This session was a reminder that the DA's strength lies in the men and women in this room, in our caucuses, in our branches, and the men and women on the ground. They're the ones that make the DA great. So let's make noise one more time for all of our winners.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kwena. I think someone tried to silence me, but you are there to save me. But all those that received awards, congratulations. It's clearly and honestly deserved. But the biggest winner today is each and every one of the 2,500 people that are here today, that continues to work relentlessly on the ground, not only to rescue South Africa, but to make sure we're getting South Africa working again. But are you in the mood to dance? Are you dancing? Are you in the mood to dance? I can't hear the people at the back. Are you in the mood to dance? Are you in the mood to dance on the left? If you're in the mood to dance, let's all stand to our feet and welcome back to stage Siki Joanne!
If you have a dream, never give up. This is one of my songs titled Bekezela, Never Ever Give Up. Enjoy. That's not Bekezela, Mr. DJ. That's not Bekezela, Mr. DJ. You know, we got a Bekezela. Can you say it with me? Bekezela. Nyamezela. Noma kunzima. Uzophumelela. It means hang on there. Okay. All right. We can vulindlela. It's a celebration, isn't it? This can I hear some ululations?
I'm back with this one. Let's go. Don't you want to have fun? Let's go. Rasa. I play Tatazela selector. Let's go. They don't want me to leave. Congress.
You know this one.
Democrats, delegates, please welcome back to the stage your presiding officers, Werner Horn and Umama Bridget Masango.
So it's me first, né? Yes. Okay, that was now lekker, né? So we have something equally exciting for you, an explanation of voting procedures for tomorrow. So if we can get the slides up. So while we wait for the slides, let's confirm no early celebrations of outcomes you expect this evening, because voting tomorrow starts at 6. And there might be some prizes for those who come first to vote. Delegates, but importantly, voting will conclude by 8:45. So that would mean that even if you don't intend to join us at 6, at least by 8:45, otherwise you will forfeit the privilege afforded to you by the party to come and elect the new leadership. When you arrive tomorrow morning, you first again attend to the registration points where you registered this morning. Thereafter, you will be directed to the downstairs voting area. So some of you might have noticed that there's escalators going down within this specific venue. So once you've registered tomorrow morning, you go downstairs. There you will be issued with your unique voting code. So you will all know that we now use the OPA vote system. It's become firmly entrenched within our processes and practices. There, a team will issue you with your unique voting code. In that venue, you will have a private space. We've tried our best to sort of duplicate the system of the IEC, apart from the fact that in our voting station, there will be 200 private booths where computers will already be open on the OPA Vote website, and there's another 150 spaces where if you want to vote on your own smart device or your own phone or computer, you will be able to go to be directed to that specific space. Those spaces are set up to afford you the privacy you need in order to vote. We will come to an explanation just now as to how you access OPA Vote. I think most of you would have used it by now, but there will be a detailed explanation. But a few things to remember. At this Congress, you will not be allowed to collect your code, leave the voting hall, and go and vote somewhere else. So you must vote at either one of the computers set up or at one of the designated spaces where you can vote on your own device. And at the end of the exercise, once you're done voting, we will require of you to deposit your voting code into a box or a bin there for us to ultimately have it in safekeeping. So before I go into the technical explanation of how you vote, let me say, and I've already said, the whole system is set up in order to protect the freeness and the fairness of our internal elections. Therefore, you will not be allowed, unless you have made a prior arrangement, a limited number of delegates has, because of visual impairment, to be joined by another delegate to assist you. Bridget and I will be there along with some of the seasoned presiding officers of the party to give technical assistance, and there will be a team of staff to enable you to also access the website, although they will not be allowed to show you how to choose the candidates of your choice. That, if you need assistance with that, that help must come from one of the presiding officers or deputy presiding officers. Candidates will also be allowed to observe this process, either alone or joined by candidate agents, in much the same way we allow party agents during national and provincial and local government elections when the IEC conduct the elections. However, there is another important briefing note to also take careful note of. And that is, you would have seen this morning when you arrived here that you were lobbied, canvassed, cajoled by candidates. And that is part of our internal democracy. You might have been lobbied, cajoled, and even asked by fellow delegates to vote in a certain way. You might at some point between now and tomorrow morning even have provincial sessions where ideas is being shared as to who should be voted for. However, we want to make this very clear. When you are in front of that ballot, you have freedom of choice. The system is set up in such a way that nobody's choice can ever be traced back to them. The privacy and the secrecy of your vote is absolutely guaranteed by the system. So therefore, you should not feel obliged to vote in accordance with the advice, guidance, or even if whatever you receive purports to be an instruction from anyone. As a liberal party, we value the freedom and the agency of the individual. And you are roughly 2,000 individuals who represent thousands of members out there and millions of voters. And to exercise that responsibility on their behalf, you must apply your mind, and you must ultimately decide who you will vote for. If you feel at any point in time that you are being forced to vote in a certain way, our standards of conduct do allow for you to lay a complaint. So if we receive complaints in relation to that specific matter, we intend to deal fully with it. So you are protected. Okay, so once you're there, you're freed up. That is the slip you will receive from the team downstairs upon arrival after having registered. And you will see there, more or less the top third, there is an 8-letter code on every slip. So if it is an O, don't treat it as a 0. Only letters are being used. So
Welcome to the Gallagher Convention Centre in Johannesburg. As always, my name is Donovan Nelson, Boyki van die Kaap.
And I'm Dikeledi Sulua, all the way from Tshwane.
Absolutely. Well, we are getting geared up for the leadership candidate speeches. It's a pivotal moment in Congress where leaders who have put up their hands to lead this party can address Congress. And let me tell you, Dikeledi.
Yes.
Oh, I'm super excited.
Are you excited?
I'm excited.
I'm out of breath. Everybody was dancing. The delegates are all seated, and we are just waiting to hear from CBC Sudunase and as well Jordan Hill-Lewis. This is the moment where we've been waiting for. The lights are going to be dimmed and the sound is going to go up, and we're going to hear what they have to offer to all these over 2,000 delegates behind us. It's about to go down.
You know, I was standing just, backstage thinking, what will my words be if I had to be on that stage as the next federal leader?
Well,
what would yours be?
I don't have any at this point because I want to hear their offering, because South Africa wants to know what they're going to offer.
Absolutely.
Because everybody needs to know, who's watching at home. Continue following us using hashtag DA Congress 2026. But as well, what they are going to be saying is not just for us as the DA and the delegates who are going to vote today, but it's going to be for every single South African who is watching from home what is happening here.
Absolutely. Well, this might be the next president of South Africa. So this offering is not just for the delegates here, but it's for every single one of you at home. Why? Because we want to get South Africa working.
And I mean, in getting South Africa working, we also need you to go and check your voter registration by going to check.da.org.za and register correctly, because the time is coming in the next local government elections for you to get a DA government in your municipality.
Absolutely. You know what's amazing for me about this entire ordeal? Is that in no way possible is this something that happens in any other party in South Africa. We are the only party where you can have a democratic process and elect a leader that can represent you as a political party. We hear of so many things in other parties.
I mean, Donovan, let's be honest. In other parties, there's only one candidate. There are no debates. And in most instances, you have one dictatorship who sits there and doesn't send their parties to congresses. It's very foreign to them.
You know what? What sends them to Congress? It's a funeral.
Yes. Well, no, it's not a funeral for the party leader, but it's actually a funeral for those political parties, because if they go, those political parties are completely rendered irrelevant, but not in the DA. We are not short of talent. and talent is something that we just have in abundance. But it's also about the great service delivery and our great track record in municipalities. And we want to have a majority. We are asking every single South African at home to give us that majority, because otherwise you are subjected to instability in your local municipalities.
Absolutely. You know, the other amazing thing about both of these candidates, they are both actually younger than 40 years old. I mean, can you imagine a federal leader of a democratic party in South Africa being under 40 years old? It's going to give the ANC a run for their money.
But we've seen it everywhere. If you go and you look at our ministers, our MECs, and you go to local municipalities where we've had MMCs, the DA usually appoints young people.
Because we grow our own timber.
We do grow our own timber, and everybody gets to mature into the political space. And you know what? We get things right.
Absolutely. It's one of the trademarks of our party.
We've got a visitor. The man from the ground is here.
No way. Come
here. Come on. You can stand between the double team. Come stand between the double team. Come stand between us.
Mr. Bax Nodada has joined us on stage. Mr. Bax, leadership speech is about to happen. How are you feeling? What are you looking forward to?
Look, I mean, I'm very excited. I mean, this is the largest Congress we've had since the dawn of the DA. So, we've got two candidates that are here. They're going to speak. They're going to tell us what exactly are they planning. But I'm actually more excited about what the day has been. Like, on the ground, it's been exciting. I know you guys wanted to go out there,
you've been in the field. I mean, I've seen you dancing. I've seen you hugging. I've seen people kissing your head.
At some point, you were on the top of a chair.
But at least nobody threw a chair at me, so that's fine.
Well, at least there's that.
We keep it cordial.
We keep it cool. Keep it kosher.
But look, I mean, it's exciting.
I think for me, as I was saying to DK now, it's so important that this message lands.
Hold on. We are. There is an announcement. There is an announcement happening.
Absolutely.
And you know what? There is a call that is happening to the debate. So we are going all the way to stage.
Let's go. Right on to stage, everybody.
Speaking was determined yesterday through the spinning of the wheel. So it was in their presence as well. So at this stage, without any further ado, I would like to call Sibusiso Dionase to address the Congress.
Brian Anyamani once said, and I quote, "Our names may not echo in the corridors of fame as yet, not even our faces may come close to those who crown kings and queens, but make no mistake of our potential. We are becoming something the world isn't ready to talk about as yet." Close quotes. Dumelang. Molweni, Afsheni, hello, Sanibonani, Goeiedag, Ndimacheroni, Lochani, Nda. Fellow Democrats, it is an honor and privilege to be standing here before you today in this Federal Congress. This is an opportunity I do not take slightly. Democrats, this Federal Congress is not a popularity contest, but an important moment for our organization to elect a leader that we believe can lead this organization moving forward. I stand here to ask for your vote as the federal leader of the Democratic Alliance that we all love and are custodians of. As your leader, my commitment to ensure that South Africans unite behind the Democratic Alliance are strengthening internal democracy by empowering branches and ancillary structures through inclusive representation that to influence internal policy, capacity building, through investing in continuous training and development for activists and staff members to improve efficiency and professionalism, value-driven leadership, by aligning our actions and decisions with our core values, collaboration, in creating strategic relationship with professionals, civic society to advance our coexistence and support. Governance continuity, by stabilizing our co-governance in the GNU and influencing policies to ensure that South Africans are equally prioritized. Lastly, Democrats, uniting South Africans behind the Democratic Alliance by winning the outright majority in all municipalities across South Africa. Democrats, this Congress must be a reflection of what this organization is, what it stands for. Let this Congress be a reflection for us to fix ourselves internally. The perception the South Africans have out there about this organization is their reflection of us. How we behave, how we treat each other. We can't merely turn a blind eye and wish it goes away. The time has come for self-introspection as an organization and truly stand for our values and principles of freedom, fairness, and open opportunity for all. We are gathered here today because we are all leaders, equally fit for purpose. Other than that, we wouldn't be here making policy decisions for this democratic organization. It will be an injustice to our values and principles if we let the perception outside the organization steer us in different directions. Fellow Democrats, united, we can have a democratic alliance that we can all contribute into the leading party, South Africa. Together, we can realize the vision of this organization. I believe in you. I believe in your capabilities. I believe in your strength. I believe in your leadership. And today, I stand before you not only to ask you to vote for me, but to ask you to walk with me. Not behind me, but then beside me, hand in hand in uniting South Africa behind the Democratic Alliance. We do not have to perform theatrics to attract voters. We have to go out there, recognize the injustice of the past as a system that requires redress based on freedom, fairness, open opportunity for all. We have to knock on every door, walk in every town, village, suburb, and informal settlement as a rainbow nation, emphasizing that this hard-fought democracy means we all deserve the same service delivery as the people in Cape Town and Midva. We have evidence. We are not just selling a dream to South Africans, but then we are offering a track record. Look at Midval in Gauteng, a shining beacon of clean audit and world-class service delivery. Bheka umngeni KwaZulu-Natal, kubonisa ukuthi nasezimeni esinjani esihlukile kakhulu umahluko we-Democratic Alliance uyabonakala. Kyk na die Vrystaat, kyk na die Kaapstad. 'n engine van gelangheid en stabiliteit en 'n see van chaos. Clearly, this shows that we are architects for clean governance. We don't just promise better life, we build it. But Democrats, we know the other side of the story. We see the wreckage left behind by the ANC and its chaotic coalition partners. Sheba mangaung kwana Vrystaat, mo bumenemene ba ditšhelete bo sileng baahi ba lahlehetswe ke tshepo. Buka emalahleni eMpumalanga icila kwisikoloto esingasakhokheki. Jonga eMagana eMpuma Koloni apho isiseko sophuhliso siwile kwaye amalungelo oluntu abalulekileyo awamanzi nawombane athathwa njengobukhasikazi. Siphila kwixesha apho aba bantu belilizwe lakuthi befuna iinkokheli ezingahlali kwiofisi ezifudumeleyo, befuna iinkokheli eziphila phakathi kwabantu nabantu, njengoba isaci sisithi umntu ngumntu ngabantu. Ndiyabulela and I thank you.
Thank you, Sbusiso, for addressing the Congress. Now, Democrats, I would like to call to the stage Jordan Hill-Lewis.
Molweni, goeiedag, good afternoon, friends, delegates, Democrats. You know, one of the things that I love most about our party is that we never fear democracy inside our own ranks. We don't appoint leaders behind closed doors. We don't treat leadership as an entitlement or a reward. We elect our leaders openly, freely, and fairly. And that matters a lot. It matters because the culture of leadership inside a party shapes the kind of leadership we offer to the country. Ours is a country where millions of people still wake up each day asking for things that should not be a luxury. Safety in their streets, a chance to get a job, the dignity of functioning basic services, and some sense that tomorrow can be better than today. And in that kind of country, leadership matters, because leadership sets the tone. Leadership shapes the culture. Leadership decides whether a party is inward-looking or outward-looking, stagnant or growing, obsessed with itself or focused on the people that we exist to serve. We are not a party built around a cult of personality. We are a democratic party. We contest ideas. We hold one another accountable. And we unite, not and never behind a personality, but behind a mission. And that mission, friends, must be clear. Our mission is to build the DA into the biggest party in South Africa. That is the prize before us. Not victory for its own sake, and not power as an end in itself, but growth with a purpose and strength in the service of our beautiful country. A party strong enough to shape the future of South Africa in line with our values. But friends, if we are to be that party, then the DA must offer South Africa more than competence alone. Of course, competence matters a great deal, and it is our greatest strength. But on its own, it cannot be enough. South Africa is, of course, hungry for a party that can govern, that can fix our towns and cities. But it is also hungry for a party that understands what life is like for ordinary people struggling to get by. A party that listens and shows up and takes people seriously. So the DA must combine competence with humility, principle with humanity, and discipline with warmth. That is the kind of politics that I believe in, and the kind of politics I believe South Africa is looking for. And it is the kind of leadership I want to offer. Leadership rooted in service, grounded in accountability, and which understands that no one in our party, friends, is bigger than the cause we serve. Friends, we must also be honest with ourselves. We have so much to be proud of. We already govern better than anyone else in South Africa. But our task now is bigger than defending our record. Our record speaks for itself. Our task now is to become a political home for the millions of South Africans who like us and feel warm towards us, but don't quite yet feel they can lend us their votes. And we will not do that by simply repeating that we're better than the rest. Of course we're better than the rest. But that is not the ceiling of our ambition. We are more than that. We must be the most hopeful option, the most credible option, the most serious option, and the most human option. We must become a party that more South Africans can see and hear, but also feel. And that means building a political culture inside our party that reflects the country we want to build outside. A culture where we seek the best for one another, where we celebrate each other's successes, where we uphold the highest standards, where we exercise focus and discipline, and where we demonstrate service to all. If you elect me as your leader, that is the standard and that is the culture I will seek to build. I will not ask you to rally around me as a person. I will ask us to rally around a purpose much bigger than all of us. For us to become stronger so that South Africa can become stronger. To become more connected so that we can earn the trust of communities who have never voted for us before. To become more disciplined and more ambitious in our belief that this country can work. Because more than anything, I do believe that South Africa can work. Our people are worth fighting for, and good government is not a miracle, and decline is not inevitable. I believe the DA has a duty to offer the country a governing alternative of real depth, integrity, and hope. So I ask for your support, not for my sake, but for the sake of the bigger mission we share together. A stronger democratic alliance for a stronger South Africa. And that is why I ask for your support for the position of federal leader tomorrow. Thank you very much. Nkosi kakhulu. Baie dankie almal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sibusiso Dionase and Jordan Hill-Lewis. Can we please give them another? That, Democrats, brings us to the end of this session. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, was that not so inspiring? I mean, I was so inspired. I almost grabbed this shovel to go fix a pothole, but I think Mama Gogo Helen has that covered, I guess.
I mean, she surely does have it covered, and snorkeling as well, which she needs to teach all of us, yeah. But we are back with Emma and KB in studio. And I mean, we're going to go through the candidate speeches and the award ceremony and just how the DA is so inspirational.
Absolutely.
And how we are so committed to getting South Africa working.
Oh, man.
And I just need to ask you guys, Emma, KB, what did you make of those stunning speeches that we got to hear today?
It was truly exceptional. For me, it was a showcase of the incredible talent within this party. And whilst I don't have a favorite candidate because my favorite candidate is the people of South Africa, I think that all of the options before the delegates this weekend would be good options. Because they are showcases of the incredible investment that this party has made into our young leaders through the DA Young Leaders Program and various other leadership initiatives. And I think that they both showcase their unique offerings, and that whoever wins tomorrow will put South Africa first and drive us into the future.
I mean, it's interesting to see just how, you know, Emma has also touched on how every candidate is exceptional that was on stage today.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
KB?
I think the one thing that is for sure is that both candidates, and Emma is right, that we are growing our own timber for our future. But one thing is for sure, out of those speeches, there are visions. That vision is anchoring us on how are we going to make South Africa working. But one thing is for sure, whoever takes over tomorrow, the DA is in good hands.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been really an inspiring time listening to the speeches. And Emma, I want to maybe put you on the spot for a second. Who was your favorite candidate?
Well, as I say, you know, the beauty of this weekend is that it is a showcase of the incredible options. All of our options are good options. And ultimately, we are here today to vote into leadership the people who will lead not only the Democratic Alliance forward, but the people of South Africa forward. We are already a party of national government. We're going to continue to grow. And in 2029 emerges the largest party in South Africa. And whoever we elect today is going to have the task of leading us into that that growth position.
I mean, there you have it from Emma about who her favorite candidate was.
It's South
keeping us
Africa.
in the dark.
Putting me on the spot.
She's saying it's South Africa. And all our voters at home and viewers who are watching.
Absolutely. I want to come back to you quickly for a second. I mean, what are the awards that stood out for you actually?
Look, I think let's also say that Lifetime Awards and Star Performance Awards, this is incredible because we are recognizing people who have contributed to the Democratic Alliance. The two awards for me that stood out for me was the one for Greg Cambrock.
Come on.
Because Greg was integral. He was an anchor of our 2021 election.
Absolutely.
But he has contributed much more. He was with us in 2016 when we were the majority party in Nelson Mandela Bay. And he contributed to every single municipality. And for me, it stood out because this is what he put us his life for. The second one, a bit more personal, Bredin Shea was a staff member in the Eastern Cape. And you know, the one thing about our staff member, our professional staff, they take care of us so much. And as a young councillor and a young activist, Bredin really brought some of us up. So when we lost her, we lost a part of us because we found her there. She had a lot of experience there. So for me, those two awards are very personal, and I think for many people as well, who these two people have touched as well.
I mean, you heard it here. Emma has picked the people of South Africa. The DA has picked the people of South Africa in getting South Africa to work. And Emma, what does it feel like to be at Congress today? Like, overall, I mean, for me, it feels like the Bokke have just run onto the field and we're about to win another World Cup.
Absolutely, you can hear in the background that the energy is electric. We've got people from across this beautiful country dancing and singing and dressed up in beautiful colors. And really what we're here to do today is to fix South Africa. We've had 32 years of ANC mismanagement. We've got a criminal syndicate that's currently governing the majority of ministries in this country. And here today we're giving a mandate to our new leaders to fix South Africa. South Africans are tired of not having water in their tap. They're tired of potholes on their roads.
Absolutely.
And here today, the DA is coming together to give a renewed mandate to the leaders that are going to fix South Africa and get South Africa working.
Absolutely. Last few words to you. I mean, how was the experience today? How was it so much?
Yo, bro, listen to this. It's electrifying. But for me, I think just the energy, people sitting down, listening, engaging with each and every one. But it's the energy for me.
Absolutely.
It's the one thing. And just the unity in our diversity is the one thing that I think is
absolutely. Well, there you have it.
I'm ready to go dancing. I don't know about you.
Me too.
But I mean,
morning.
Absolutely. Here we go.
I'm so hyped up to get onto the
I don't know. Probably Bats is there, but we'll join him and everyone else.
Absolutely. There you have it, South Africa. Kom ons kry aan die werk. Let's get South Africa working. I'm told Max is on the floor. Max, over to you, sir.
We're back on the floor of the Democratic Alliance Federal Congress right here at the Gallagher Convention Center in Gauteng. As you can see, the chaos is right here, but we're not ending there. I've got two gentlemen that have decided to put their hands up to become the next mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay, Retief Odendaal, as well as the next mayor of Mangaung, Werner Pretorius. How do you guys feel being here, Retief?
How do we do what?
How do you feel being here?
Well, no, it's absolutely amazing. Sorry, it's such an amazing feeling here. We can't even hear what you're saying. But it's a lack of vibe. People are excited to be electing new leaders, and we can just see that the DA is a growing party.
Amazing. How do you feel being here, Werner?
Oh, Bax, it's fantastic being here with 2,200 DA activists and members of all of our reps working hard and ready to make South Africa work.
I mean, both of you gentlemen, you want to be the next mayors of your cities. I mean, Retief, you've been a mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay before. Why are you putting up your hand again?
Well, I think we've seen that our city is broken and we deserve better governance. We deserve to get Nelson Mandela Bay working again. We've seen how people are leaving Nelson Mandela Bay and going to the Western Cape in search of opportunities. We can fix Nelson Mandela Bay. Ons kan Nelson Mandela Bay weer in die werk kry. Ons kan geleenthede vir ons mense daar skep sodat hulle daar bly en nie na die Weskaap toe gaan vir beter geleenthede nie.
Yeah, look, Werner, you have put your hand up to be the next mayor of Mangaung. I mean, Mangaung is extremely broken. Why would you want to put up your hand to be the mayor of Mangaung?
Well, Bax, I think the city of Mangaung is a beautiful city with beautiful people. With the right government and local government, we can create a city of opportunity. We can get people into jobs. We can get people in a safe environment, and we can deliver the basic services to make Mangaung a city of opportunity and a city that works for the people of Mangaung.
Indeed, we want a city that works. But a lot of people will hear and say, look, we know the problems of Nelson Mandela Bay, but how do we get Nelson Mandela Bay working again?
Well, I think first of all, we need to professionalize the administration, get the professionals back into the municipality. Our engineers, our town planners, our electricians, and our plumbers. The reality is that politicians in itself can't fix the municipality. They can just create an enabling environment. And in order to get our city working again, we need to professionalize the administration. Also, to ensure that we grow the economy. Businesses don't want to invest in a city that hasn't got a reliable supply of electricity and water. So it's very, very important that we invest in the right infrastructure. We can do it in Nelson Mandela Bay. There's a lot to be negative about when we talk about collapsing municipalities. But there's hope for the people of Nelson Mandela Bay because our city can be rescued. We've seen how our city still has cash reserves, how our city doesn't owe Eskom a cent. So we've got the ability to invest in infrastructure. But that window period is getting smaller. That's why we have to rescue Nelson Mandela Bay this year out of the hands of a corrupt and incompetent ANC-EFF government.
That sounds like a solid plan to get Nelson Mandela Bay working again. Werner, how do we get Mangaung working after it's been broken for so many years?
Well, I think, Bax, what is fantastic is the DA has a blueprint in municipalities across South Africa. We've got a blueprint. We've shown that it can be done. We have done it, and we can bring that blueprint of good governance, of clean, effective governance, zero tolerance to crime, zero tolerance to corruption, to the city of Mangaung so that we can create a city of opportunities for all our people. So we will bring fit for purpose people to the city. We will bring that blueprint and we will ensure the basics are there to attract investment and to get the city working for all the people.
Amazing. I mean, gentlemen, you guys have solid plans for your own municipalities. What is the last parting shot and words you want to say to the people of home? Retief?
Well, I just want to say that we've got an amazing city and it's worth fighting for. So let's unite behind the DA so that we can remove the ANC-EFF government from Nelson Mandela Bay and so that we can get our city working again.
Lovely, Werner.
Well, Max, the short and the long is the city of Mangaung can work, but we need each and every DA voter to go and register and vote and come out and support the DA in the local government election so that we can have a city that works for you.
Well, there you have it. You've heard it from both our mayoral candidates, Werner Pretorius from Mangaung, who will be the next mayor of Mangaung, as well as Retief Odendaal, the next mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay. If you want to get Mangaung or Nelson Mandela Bay working again, you have to register to vote. Otherwise, you forfeit that right to make sure that we get your municipality working again. How do you do that? You go to check.da.org.za to make sure that you are registered correctly so that you can utilize your vote to vote in these two gentlemen so that we can get Mangaung and Nelson Mandela Bay working again. But you know what? It's not enough for tonight. It's not enough for today because I'm still highlighting more and more of our mayoral candidates. We've got a plan. We've got a plan to fix your municipality. More importantly, we have a plan to get South Africa working again. I'm now leaving you for the last time today. It was lovely spending the day with you. But I know Double D, Jonathan and Tikeledi are going to outline what's going to happen tomorrow. So have a good afternoon and cheers out. Back's not Tata. Even if you call me Back's alive, I'm still the deputy chief whip, but your man on the ground this weekend.
Today is the amazing spokesperson on electricity and energy in Parliament, Kevin Milam, as well as Councillor Tammy Jackson. Kevin, how are you feeling?
The vibe is unreal here. It's so electric. I can't describe it. It's got us tapping our toes.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I'm so optimistic, Donovan. I mean, look at the crowd behind us right now. Everyone is optimistic, it's energetic, it's electric. This was day one of Congress, and if it's anything to go by, I cannot wait for day two.
Come on, come on.
I mean, it's insane. And I mean, Kevin has had to do such an important task today, and that is to be the chairperson of the Amendments Committee. And I mean, what does that even mean for our viewers at home when it comes with such a big title of chairing the Amendments of Congress?
Well, my job is to oversee the constitutional amendments and to make sure that they are submitted on time, that everybody in the party gets to review them, that they fit in with our constitution, that they are properly written, and then to present them to the Congress to decide whether or not this is what we want.
And Kevin, what are some of the amendments that were considered today?
Wow, we've had some really interesting ones here. So we considered a deputy leader. We looked at changing the period that Congress happens from 3 years to 5 years. Both of those were rejected. We amended many of our disciplinary processes. We looked at some of our voting processes. We looked at how branches hold their leadership accountable. So a lot of different aspects of how we govern ourselves.
I mean, we've heard it here, but Tammy, you have been with us since the morning, and I mean, if today is anything to go by, what are you expecting tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, so today, obviously, you know, hit it off on a good note, but tomorrow I think is the even more exciting part because we are voting on the leadership election, but we are also seeing the results of that leadership election, and I think everyone has had a good campaign thus far. Every candidate has
manifesto and delegates could choose. And so tomorrow we get to see the outcome of that. But more importantly, I think it's really important to mention the fact that today ran so smoothly. This is the DA Blue machinery in all its glory. No fighting, no chairs flying around, no tables being thrown at anyone, unlike other political parties. Everything was done in a free and fair manner. People voted, and now we will wait for tomorrow, wait for the announcement of the leadership election, and make sure that as a party we unite behind that person.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's always smooth sailing with us.
Absolutely. Kevin, we know countries have constitutions, we know organizations have constitutions, but why must a political party have a constitution?
We have a constitution because we need rules. We need rules to govern how we operate. We need rules to decide how we elect our leaders. We need rules to decide how we hold our leaders accountable. We need rules to decide how we spend our money and how we go out and capture votes. That's why we have a constitution.
Absolutely.
And I mean, Kevin, you're the chairperson of the constitutional amendments, but what I need to ask you is what is the process that leads to those constitutional amendments? Because everybody saw us voting with our green cards and our red cards, but what is all the background, you know, all the stuff that happens that nobody gets to actually see to get us here?
So it started in August last year. We put out a call for submissions. What do the members of the party, what do they want us to consider? So we put that call out. We gave them until the end of September to make submissions on constitutional amendments. Then we look at those and we say, well, some of these aren't constitutional amendments. Some of them are policy issues. Some of them are provincial rather than federal. So we send them to where they need to go. We then put up a website where we say, okay, you now have an opportunity to comment on these amendments or to write up alternative formulations. Maybe you don't like the wording. Give us an alternative formulation. So they send that to us. And then in February this year, we send all of those out to all the members of the party, to all the party structures, so that they can consider it before they get to Congress. That's in terms of the Constitution. Section 13.1 of our Constitution requires that we make that available at least 4 weeks prior to Congress. So we did that. About 2 weeks ago, we had a webinar where all the delegates to Congress were given an opportunity to debate those amendments. So now they had an opportunity to discuss and say, well, we agree with this, we don't agree with that, this is what we think, this is our opinion, etc. And then today, we actually voted. So there was no debate today. Today was about actually voting on those amendments. And they vote yes or no.
But if I can just interject there, I think it's an important point to make around the culture inside the DA, where we actually debate things before decisions are being made. You know, in other political parties, we see a dictatorship culture where if a leader decides today he feels a certain way, he expects the members of the party to go in that direction. Whereas in the DA, we actually put forward our ideas, we discuss it and debate robustly, and then everyone gets an opportunity to actually vote on it.
It's a contestation of ideas.
Absolutely, a contestation.
And I mean, in other
ideas.
political parties as well, they never finish Congress because they break into plenary and they've never seen some of these ideas, and they go and they debate it. And then they leave Congress without even concluding one thing except for voting for the leadership. But we actually come here to make critical decisions.
So, I mean, Tammy, I want to come to you. You are a young councillor in the city of Cape Town. What makes you so proud to be part of this political party, and what is your message for every single young person watching this broadcast?
So I've been a member of the DA since I was 19 years old, and that was my first Congress as well. And since then, I knew that I'm a liberal by heart, that I believe in the values and principles of the party. I then joined the branch, and what I love about the DA is the fact that it puts young people at the center of its decision making. If you look at a lot of the, public reps within the DA, you can see that the DA has actually given a platform to so many youth to grow and hone their skills and their leadership capabilities. And I've been lucky enough to be part of the DA Young Leaders Program to that extent, and then to be given a seat in council as well. So I really hope that all the young people watching this Congress and tuning into this weekend's events will also consider the DA as their choice of party and actually make a conscious decision to support the DA at the next election.
Tammy, I just want to come in on that. The DA's been running the Young Leaders program since 2007.
Wow.
I was one of the first young leaders.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so was Jordan Hill-Lewis, by the way. So was Solly Malatsi.
Yeah. Well, we
we
can
were
see
all
the
on the
fruits
same,
now.
in 2007, we were all on the same program. So the DA has been growing its own timber for years and years and years. And it really is exactly what you say. It's about giving young people an opportunity. I'm not so young anymore, but hey, you know, we all had to start out somewhere.
Hey, you fooled me there, Kevin.
I mean, Kevin does look young. I mean, he looks like a movie star, you know.
Absolutely
he's a great
does.
fox there.
And he's got a movie star name, Kevin. That's a movie star name.
It really is. So, I mean, it also speaks to just how a lot of us all come from young leaders. And this is where you see the quality of the leadership in the DA. Everybody, from our candidates to our councillors, every single public representative, the majority of them have gone through the Young Leaders program. And it has also taught us a level of endurance and understanding what sacrifice is to the South African people.
Absolutely. If you had one friend, to both of you, that you need to text right now to say tune in tomorrow, what would your message say to that friend?
I would tell my friend, first of all, this is an opportunity to see democracy in action. It's an opportunity to see how a serious political party operates, how I spoke about contestation of ideas. That's what we do, but we don't throw chairs at each other. We don't knife each other. We have a debate and we argue and we convince our colleagues about how things should be. So I'd argue that. That's the first thing. The second thing that I'd say is this is an opportunity to see a transition in the DA. Tomorrow we're electing new leadership. It's young leadership. You look at the people that are standing. They are young, they are exciting, they're dynamic. It's a new era for the DA. We're getting a new federal leader and we're getting a new chairperson of Federal Council at the very least. So there's an exciting step change happening in the DA. This is your chance to watch it, to see it on YouTube and our various social media platforms. Watch it here.
Quite frankly, I wouldn't even advise anyone to just tune in to the broadcast. I would advise you to just sign up as a member. Become a member today. You know, if you watch the DA's first day of the Federal Congress, you would see that this is a party that actually values democracy, that actually values the opinions of their members, and not just public representatives and the people that you see on television, but branch members and people who are actually the backbone of this organization, who make the work of the DA possible. So don't just tune into the broadcast, become a member of the DA and make sure that you register to vote so that we can elect the DA into every municipality across South Africa and get this country working again.
I absolutely love that. Kevin, I mean, I want to just come back quickly to you again. This is the Congress where John has now, said he's no longer opening himself for leadership or for a new term. What is the legacy that you think he leaves behind in this party?
Wow. So there's a lot of legacies that have been left behind, but I think the one that stands out for me is opportunity. We've become a party where opportunity is embedded in our culture, where everybody who wants to try and do better for themselves, who wants to succeed, can step forward and say, yes, I'm ready to do it, and they have that space to do that. So that would for me be the one big legacy.
And I mean, Donovan, also, let's be honest, John said he is going to help the DA push the ANC under 50%.
Come on.
He delivered on that.
And he wasn't a prophet, by the way.
Yes.
He's not even a prophet.
No, he's not even a prophet. So he's definitely not spraying us with doom or misleading the South African public. And on top of that, he then gave us an opportunity to be part of the government of national unity, where we have ministers and deputy ministers. We wouldn't have thought about that, but it's his vision as a leader to just deliver us to the finish line and see ourselves and the potential we can do. We all know that ANC ministers are complaining that DA ministers are outshining them, but we are showing that where the DA governs, South Africa works.
Absolutely. As a young Democrat, the legacy John leaves behind for you?
Again, it's the GNU, but also as someone who loves to delve into the world of social media, I love the fact that John was the first leader of the party to introduce a new way of doing digital media. You know, Coronacast started with him, and now the DA is doing far more sophisticated media operations that you do not see in any other organization. So that is something that I value a lot. But also, John has played a massive role in helping to develop new and upcoming leaders in the party. And earlier on, so many names were given on stage by one of the speakers. And I think that is one of the legacies he leaves behind. A good leader is someone who knows how to sharpen other leaders.
Absolutely. Well, we are now going back to the stage where we'll be unpacking the resolutions over the next 2 days, today as the first day and tomorrow as well. So over to the stage over there.
Them to become active citizens and shape our nation's future. This aligns with Section 29 of our Constitution, ensuring every child's right to education is met. Let's equip our kids with knowledge and skills to thrive and contribute to a united South Africa. Let's make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We now have our first alternate speaker, Pogiso Mtimunye.
Thank you, Chair. I won't go into the merits of the proposal. It's there. I want to encourage delegates to apply their own minds, their own thinking, and their own concentration to what is being proposed. Not what is being summarized, but what is being proposed. And I want them to ask themselves the following question. Do they believe as delegates that teaching governance and public participation in schools will improve voter participation in real life and economic success of their children? And if they believe so, they should support this recommendation. If they don't, they should not support this recommendation. But I want delegates to think for themselves about this and make their own call. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Pogiso. Francina Selemela.
Good day, everyone. Critical thinking and civil engagement. Civil engagement can encourage critical thinking, helping learners analyze issues, making informed decisions, and participate in the democratic process. Understanding the Constitution and governance, learners can understand their Constitution, institution, and governance structures, promoting a sense of ownership and responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Mqedi Matambeka.
Thank you so much, Chair. I'd like to believe that there are already some levels of civic education that are given in basic education, in life orientation and social sciences as well. This resolution does have the right idea. However, I believe that our basic education system is not really ready yet, because our teachers in basic education are not really trained, and this would only open up our kids to some sort of indoctrination. So I'll leave that to Congress. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We now have the response by the proposer, Catherine Nkuna.
Thank you. I don't have much. As the first speaker said, he will leave it to the delegate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We have now concluded the speakers list for this particular resolution, and we will now proceed to voting. Delegates, please hold up your green card to vote yes, and hold up your red card to vote no. Please vote now. Okay, I have conferred with our auditors and the Secretariat, and this resolution has not passed.
Okay, colleagues, we are now going to ask that the proposer, seconder, and additional speakers for Resolution 3 please make their way to the microphone. And we are then going to begin discussing new Resolution number 2, which is entitled Promoting Fair Employment Opportunities for Workers Over 35. And this can be found on page 117 of the Congress booklet. Can I please ask the following individuals now to come speak? And we are going to start off with our proposer, who is Eunice Mukesani. You have 90 seconds, ma'am.
Thank you. Over 35 and overlooked, the DA must address the employment age limit. I'm passionate about this resolution because workers over 35 bring experience, skills, and dedication to the table. Yet many face age-based barriers. This resolution promotes fairness, equality, and inclusivity, aligning with South African Constitution and labor laws. Let's tap into this valuable resource, reduce unemployment, and build stronger economy. Let's ensure workers over 35 get opportunities they deserve. Let's make fair employment a reality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We now move over to the seconder, Catherine Nkuna.
Thank you, Chair. I rise to support this crucial resolution on promoting fair employment opportunities for workers over 35. With South Africa high employment rates, it's vital we address ageism in the workplace. This resolution aligns with our Constitution, Section 9 on equality and labor laws, promoting fair treatment. By supporting this, we ensure experienced workers get fair, short benefiting our economy and society. Let us promote inclusivity and fairness. Let us push equal opportunity for all ages. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I then have Gilbert Monanyana, who is not present for this particular. There he is. We always err on the side of inclusion in our party.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I suggest it's very important we submit this amendment on the basis that we have youth unemployment. When they not have access to employment, they become over the age of 35, which still makes it very difficult and limit them to access. So we need to speak about inclusivity in society. This is speaking not about young people, but all people, because people need to be able to feed the livelihood, their families and everything. So I plead with Congress, please support this motion so we create access to jobs, job security, and health security in our families.
Thank you very much, Gilbert. JP Smith.
Thank you, Chairperson. Federal Congress and Council are opportunities to be part of a liberal debate and a reminder of our values. This resolution gave me pause for thought, as just like many administrations across South Africa, the City of Cape Town sets the age of 35 as a cutoff for entry-level recruitment in some departments. Yet when I go on patrol with neighborhood watches across the city, it's often people in their 40s, 50s and olders who are keeping the community safe. Their expertise, energy and commitment is in no way diminished by their age. In fact, it's often greater as they're at a stage in their lives when they have families to look after, not just in terms of earning an income, but in terms of having arrived at a point where they understand that if they do not step up, no one else will. So out of respect for that contribution, and the many times somebody older than 35 who is making a valuable contribution has asked me if the new intake for law enforcement or Metro Police is open to them, I am compelled to speak in support of this resolution. And when I return to Cape Town, it's being discussed by the Safety and Security Directorate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, JP. Duncan Ntembu.
Thank you so much, Chair. Firstly, I would like to support this resolution.
as a party, we believe in open opportunities for all in society. This includes people who are over the age of 35. Because if we then continue to only look at people who are under 35, it means that the current youth who are under 35 and do not get employment before 35, they'll be unemployed forever. And this is a sad reality. And it must not only end there, because we get people who actually go to tertiary institutions at the age of 30, 31, 32, and by the time they finish their qualification, it means they'll not be eligible for the internships and learnership. So we need to be strong in advocating to fight against SAPS internships, which are restrictive, as Department of Science and Technology, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and Youth Employment Services. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Duncan. Colleagues, as there are no opposing views, we will go straight to voting. Once again, please hold up your green card to vote yes, and hold up your red card to vote no. I see that the colleagues are very over-eager to vote. Please cast your votes now. I think it's clear that the yeses have it. Resolution 2 passes successfully. Can I then ask that the Speaker, Seconder, and other speakers for Resolution 4 make their way to the microphone? We are now going to start with Resolution number 3, which is entitled the Ethical Governance Charter. And you can find this particular resolution on page 118 of the Congress booklet. Can the following individuals please come forward to speak, starting off with our proposer, Mayor Refiwe.
Thank you, Matt. Good afternoon, Federal Congress. As Democratic Alliance public representatives, and now that we are in more governments than ever and will continue to, we should never forget who we are and start behaving like the ANC, whom we criticized when we were in opposition. We should remain humble, the humble servants, and remember our oath of office. This charter doesn't just promise clean governance, it institutionalizes with enforceable standards and consequences. At a time of deep public distrust, this is how the DA clearly distinguishes itself as a public of integrity. Supporting this charter is supporting a future where power is exercised with accountability, not abuse. This is the DA difference. This charter in detail unpacks our values of how we should be in government and in opposition, and I therefore urge all delegates to support this charter. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Refiwe. We now move over to the seconder, Yakuta Blanche.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, this charter will remind us of values and what we as DA public reps is. We as DA public reps is ethical leadership. And the charter will be ensuring that we not abusing our power, but work for our community what we're supposed to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yaku. We now have our alternative speakers, Francina Selemela.
The Democratic Alliance is found on the belief that the public office is scarce trust. The Charter affirms the DA community to clean, transparent, and accountable governance in the space of the government. It established the binding ethics principles and operational standards to ensure that the DA public representative for councillors, members of the provincial legislatures, to members of parliament serve with integrity, fairness, and compliance with the constitutions of the Republic of South Africa.
Thank you, ma'am. Your time has expired. We then have Nicholas Nyati.
Thank you very much, Matt. Power does not have an ability to corrupt. Power has an ability to expose who and what you are. The African National Congress, when they started, said they want to liberate South Africans. Once they tasted power, power exposed who they are. When it exposed who they are, we saw them eating tenders that were meant to contribute towards uplifting South Africans. When someone challenged them from eating those tenders, we saw them killing each other. When they stopped killing each other, we saw them buying conferences so that they can stay in leadership. This ethical governance charter is to avoid that. To say no matter what happens in the DA, we will never eat people's tenders and we will never kill each other to stay with blue lights.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. We then have Luazi Chakalase, who is not present. We will then go back to the proposer, Refilwe Nseke, to respond for 60 seconds.
Thank you, Matt. I think I just want to appreciate all the input and once again reiterate to all Congress delegates that this charter unpacks our values on how we basically interpret them and how we should behave in government. So once again, I urge all Congress delegates to support this charter. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Refilwe. Colleagues, we will now proceed to voting. Once again, hold up your green card to vote yes, and hold up your red card to vote no. Please cast your votes. Passed. Colleagues, Resolution 3 has passed. I would now like to ask that the Speaker, Seconder, and the alternative speakers for Resolution 5 make their way to the microphone. We are now going to be dealing with new Resolution number 4, which is titled Medipele Roots First. And this can be found on page 120 of the Congress booklet. Can I please ask the following individuals now to come speak, starting off with the proposer, Tyrone Gray. Tyrone, over to you.
Right. Fellow Democratic Alliance delegates, constitutional vanguards, defenders of our democracy, protectors of the people and our public purse, activators of a better life for all South Africans, I greet you. Today we celebrate our beautiful internal democracy, while other parties watch green with envy. As we celebrate our vibrant diversity, we honor our branches built via dedicated, determined, diligent, disciplined activists, day in, day out, street to street, door to door, ward to ward, city to city, across all provinces of our entire country. Wire, wire. A forest grows from the grassroots up. Roots first, not from the canopy down. Skyscrapers reach their heights on the strength of their foundations. Houses aren't built with the roof first, we begin from the ground up. The branch is formed and functions before the seat is won. Branches predate the position because parties contest elections before seats are allocated, and therefore branches are a foundational priority and a prerequisite to building trust. People vote for who they trust. We have seen the negative consequences of parachutism, from harebrained mashups without action to silly sing, silly song, look who's gone. It is through commitment, compassion, and integrity that dependability is built. You care for what you create, you are loyal to what you build. Let us build our party from the grassroots up. Yalibofa.
Thank you very much for the laugh, Tyrone. If I can now move over to the seconder, Lesego Lekoto.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. While we recognize the search for talent and the systems in place to identify it, we cannot turn a blind eye to the crucial role that the branches play, not only in identifying both talent and commitment, but to ensure that the blue machine runs. Identify talent must stimulate and fertilize the grassroots by being active on the ground. Project Mezzo should be more than issue driving. It is about us. We as the branch members, we are Mezzo. We are Medi. We are the roots. We are what nourishes the DA, and we are the DA. We therefore call on the party to nourish us so that we can ascend. We don't want to be parachuted into positions. We want to learn and we want to earn those positions. Therefore, build us up, don't parachute us in. I call on delegates to support.
Thank you very much, Lesego. We now have our first alternate speaker, Fana Nkosi.
Thanks, Chair. Mine is simple. The second actually took my weight, but I rise in support of this resolution. The DA does not lack talented members. We just need to nurture those talents. Thus, the Helen Suzman Academy in Gauteng was established to increase the pool of talents. I urge this Federal Congress to support this resolution. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Fana. We now move to our last speaker on this resolution, Krizan Bosch.
Okay, thank you. Our branches and activists are the heartbeat and foundation of a democratic alliance as recognized in our federal constitution. To strengthen our movement, we must move away from paper branches that exist only in name and instead build active, trained and enthusiastic structures committed to bringing real change to our country. Our electoral success begins at branch level. If a public representative cannot build and empower a vibrant branch, how can they be expected to win votes and trust? Returning to our roots required to govern. Returning to our roots means placing renewed emphasis on branch development, and this responsibility starts with our public representatives. If we want to take the DA to the next level and become the largest party in South Africa, then we need to rise as public reps and take up the responsibility to build and grow our branches, move away from conjoined branches and focus on establishing a branch in every single ward, in every single community, and walk side by side with our activists, show that we care and be true representatives of the public. And this is why in Tshwane we held our public reps accountable and ensure a branch in every single ward. I support this resolution.
Thank you very much, Krizan. Colleagues, as there are no opposing views, we will go straight to voting. Once again, please hold up your green card to vote yes, and hold up your red card to vote no. Passed. The resolution number 4 has passed. Can I please ask the proposer, seconder and alternate speakers for resolution 6 to make their way to the microphone so long, whilst we deal with resolution number 5 entitled Addressing the Impacts of Online Gambling, which can be found in page 121 of the Congress booklet. Can the following individuals now come to speak, starting off with our proposer, Nicholas Inyati.
Thank you, Matt. This one is a very personal one to me. South Africa has got one of the highest levels of youth unemployment. We've got the biggest gap of inequality. When that happens in society, people look for shortcuts because they lack hope in government, they lack hope in opportunities. The biggest and easiest shortcut that is made available to the people on the ground is online gambling. Online gambling says put 1 rand and get 5 million. Our people are lacking hope. They use their last money from NSFAS, students, to gamble and they lose it. This is affecting families. I met with posters from London and Germany. They told me that in South Africa, the average person who earns a social income grant spends 25% of that grant on online gambling. This is a time-ticking bomb. And as a party that is a party of national government, we need to advocate for regulation of online gambling. Because tomorrow, when the people don't have money to gamble, they will come for yourself, Matt. They will come for myself, the people who are the 1%. So I urge Congress, if there's one thing that we do to prevent this time-ticking bomb.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. We have your full name here, Luvo, but I assume Luvo Vumbani is good for you.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. We've got a pandemic in our communities which is silently breaking families. I argue that it might even be worse than drug abuse. You could be sitting in a taxi or in a restaurant and you hear some sounds coming from somebody's phone and think they're playing Candy Crush, and they are gambling, because gambling is easily available on their phones these days. Teenagers have started using their lunch money on betting vouchers. They do this through their grannies, their mothers, fathers, who are unaware that they are using their ID documents to register on these platforms. And this has to change in order for us to keep our family structures. We've got a pandemic to an extent that if you go to tuck shops these days in the townships, children are lining up with 2 rands to go onto slot machines that are called China. And we need to actually do something about that as a political party.
Thank you very much, Luvo. We now have Dionne Bailey.
Chairperson, fellow Democrats, I rise in full support of this resolution. In rural Namakwaland, where I come from, people don't gamble because they have extra money. They gamble because they have none. A young person will take the last 50 rand, even money meant for food, and place it into a betting app, hoping it becomes something more. Not out of greed, but out of desperation. But what we are seeing is no longer harmless. It's a crisis. One that is driving debt, addiction, and breaking families, especially in vulnerable communities. And while this happens, the industry grows faster, bigger, and with too little accountability. This is our moment to say enough. Let us be the party that protects the vulnerable. Let us be the voice that cannot afford to lose. If we don't stand up for them, who will? I urge you, support this resolution.
Thank you very much, Dionne. We now have Mqedi Matambeka.
Thank you again, Chair. Young people are currently experiencing scary levels of stress, anxiety, depression, and physical lash out due to unregulated gambling. I'd like to pledge Congress to let us support this resolution as it seeks to ensure that we protect our families and young people as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We then have Lwazi Jakalase.
Thank you, Chair. Perhaps before we speak about the impacts of online gambling, let us also speak about the enablers, with one of them being the unethical advertising. Gambling advertising has become dangerously aggressive. You will see gambling adverts in video games, airports, retail places, and other unconventional locations. Furthermore, these adverts glamorize the risk without speaking about the potential fatal consequences such as financial losses and mental health issues. We are calling on the DA to advocate for the regulation of such unethical behavior from these gambling companies. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, considering that we have no speakers who have spoken against, we will now proceed to voting. please hold up your green card to vote yes and your red card to vote no. Resolution number 5 has passed.
Well, South Africa, we are back in studio. We want to welcome you to the Gallagher Convention Centre in Johannesburg, where the Democratic Alliance is wrapping up day 1 of its federal Congress.
And I mean, we are busy with very critical resolutions. And I mean, we welcome back our buddies Tammy and KB. But also, let's just reflect on what has happened, because we just took a resolution that was passed within a majority about gambling and the effects of it on communities and how we need to regulate the gambling industry. As well, there was a resolution passed about unemployment of people over the age of 35 that was also passed to say that they also need opportunities and not be left out of the sector, especially when you exit your youth years. The opportunities get less and less. So in like fighting unemployment, I mean, these are not us. These are the delegates who submitted all of these resolutions and for this Congress to vote on it. And it's going great because you can see that we are proactively making policy decisions and resolutions that are going to help fight unemployment.
No, absolutely, Decolady. And I think what is important about this discussion is the fact that it actually puts job creation, particularly for the youth, at the center of some of our policy resolutions and discussions that are taking place here today. I mean, we live in South Africa. We know that across the country, we have a youth unemployment problem. In fact, it's not a problem, it's a crisis at this point, you know, especially in cities like Johannesburg, where jobs are increasingly getting less every single quarter. And that's not me sucking it out of my thumb. You can check the jobs numbers coming out every quarter. And so I think the fact that we are having these important discussions, you know, is a step in the right direction, because it just reaffirms the DA's commitment to growing the country's economy and making sure that young people actually have a seat at that table.
Absolutely. And here's the sad thing. 9 out of the 10 jobs that have been created were in the Western Cape. In the Eastern Cape, our expanded unemployment is at 51%. Wow. It means we've got more people out of jobs than we actually have people who are working. We lost 71,000 jobs in just the previous year, and 31,000 of those were in the last quarter. So this resolution and many of these resolutions are talking about the impact of our economic policies, the impact of some of these policies that they have in households. And that is at the center of this thing. And it's quite sad, actually, that, you know, I listened to one of the comments that came from one of the delegates, and they said people are gambling money in Namakwaland, not because they've got money, because they are desperate to stretch that 1 rand to make it 5 rand, because they've got no other prospect of a job. And that is why, for me, I found it very, very impactful that our delegates, even though we were looking at something like gambling, but they are also trying to look at it from a social perspective and saying we need to also look at what joblessness does to families and the impact.
I mean, KB, if I may just come in right there, I think it's very important that KB mentioned such a critical statistics that 9 out of 10 jobs in South Africa is being created in the Western Cape province. And make no mistake, that is no coincidence. It is not a coincidence that 9 out of 10 jobs is created in the Western Cape. That is the case because the Western Cape is run by a DA government. You know, if you look at the quarterly labor stats and the numbers that come out every quarter, you will see that over, 280,000 jobs have recently been created in the space of 3 months. That is in one province alone. So the question that South Africans need to ask themselves is, why are other provinces an exception to this, and why is it only taking place in the Western Cape? Well, the answer is quite simple. It's because the residents of the Western Cape have chosen a government that is competent, that doesn't allow cater deployment in their departments, and that actually makes the environment conducive for businesses and the private sector to come in and invest so that jobs can be created.
Yeah, I mean, I can't add anything to that. That is exactly our message to you, South Africa, to get South Africa working. And what an afternoon it has been here at the DA Federal Congress 2026, from big ideas to powerful speeches to even well-deserved awards, members and activists. It's safe to say that the DA is ready to get South Africa working.
I mean, we are really ready to get South Africa working. You just see it with the resolutions and that have been submitted, because they're not submitting it from thin air. They're submitting it by real life problems and challenges that are experienced. But also, if 9 out of 10 jobs are being created in the Western Cape, it means that every single other province is in crisis. It means that every other municipality outside of the Western Cape is a disaster. And I mean, unemployment is also affected by the lack of service delivery, because no business can thrive to create those jobs. And I mean, we are here trying to make South Africa work, but we can't do it without you at home. And this is why it's so important to also go out, register, and check your registration status by going to check.da.org.za. But also, to get more involved for our viewers at home, please also go to donate.da.org.za.
Absolutely. We'll be back tomorrow with more action, more insight, and maybe even more surprises. But from now, from all of us over here, thank you for watching, and please continue sharing. Goodbye.
The Democratic Alliance Federal Congress 2026 officially open.
I truly love you guys. God bless South Africa. God bless the DA.
Let's also welcome John's faithful family on stage.